Maybe Hogs will get in line and say, yeah, no, Luigi was a bad guy. He's a terrorist. He deserves the death penalty. Who knows? But he is very white, and he does come from a wealthy family. A lot of these things.
United Healthcare CEO Luigi Magione. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Chanel Call live in a newsroom for us. Chanel, what can you tell us?
Yeah, coming to you live once again from our breaking news desk this morning, Mugo. And we just got this release from the U.S. Justice Department moments ago. I want to read to you part of it coming from Attorney General Pamela Bondi's office. It says, quote, Luigi Mangione's murder of Brian Thompson, an innocent man and father of 2 young children, was a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. After careful consideration, I've directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in this case as we carry out President Trump's agenda to stop violent crime and make America safe again. It goes on to say that the murder was an act of political violence and that Mangione's actions involve substantial planning and premeditation.
It's like a little bit better if I turn the lights off, but it's still there. Death penalty for killing rich people? Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, this is... No, it's not worth it. I still can't see even with the lights on. So, hold on. What the hell is going on? I feel great otherwise. I don't know why. I don't have an issue with I don't have an issue with anything else. Look at my comments, please. You can have an ocular migraine without the pain. My first migraine didn't hurt. I just went blind. I've had the thing you're experiencing. I mean, it's fine. I'm not going blind. I just it feels like there's a light. You know when you stare at a light for too long and you can't see? When you stare at a light for too long and you can't see, that's what it feels like. Ocular migraine. Yeah, it kind of feels like this, or like a little bit like this. What the hell? Am I dying? What is going on? Apparently it's caused by stress.
I also want to mention that we knew that this was a possibility, Mugo, after Luigi Mangione was charged federally back in December. He first faced 11 state charges. That included as an act of terrorism. And this is in connection to the killing of United Healthcare's CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione has so far pleaded not guilty to those state charges, but the federal charges, they allow prosecutors to pursue the death penalty against him. Today, now, when we talk about capital punishment, AG Pam Bondi directing federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in this case. We know Mangione has not yet entered a plea in that federal case, but prosecutors have already said that these 2 state cases and federal cases will essentially proceed on parallel tracks, with the state charges expected to go to trial first.
Wow, some very important background and context there. Chanel called.
Yeah, I mean, the Mangione cases and all of the escalated charges surrounding it are entirely because of politics. Luigi Mangione's actions being taken as an act of terror in the state of New York is specifically because of politics. On the federal case, Attorney General Pam Bondi pushing for this to be elevated or demanding the death penalty on it is once again pure politics. The reason why they're doing this is because they want to make an example out of him. And it's kind of interesting because I feel like this creates a unique opportunity for the court system, or at least his defense attorneys, to try to push for a mistrial. Like there is a lot of outside interference in this case. I don't know. I mean, I hope that they don't end up crucifying him. I also don't know if crucifying him like this is going to backfire, in terms of like how people see him, how people treat this case, because he was seen as a relatively positive figure. And I don't think that the attitude has shifted by the broader American population. I think that they still look at what he allegedly did as not a inherently evil act, even though obviously is evil, right? Is bad. It's unacceptable. Allegedly, Luigi Mangione's alleged of Brian Thompson. The very fact that in a country like America, where people are incredibly draconian and have this very, very straightforward approach to law, order, justice, the very fact that like they would still look at a situation like this as an open and shut case and still go, yeah, well, the other guy has a lot more bodies because he's a private healthcare CEO is wild to me. It is indicative of how much pain private healthcare has caused in this country. And I think that this kind of prosecutorial overreach is inevitably going to cause more of a backlash. More of a backlash in favor of Luigi Mangione and also against the administration. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Americans are so hog-minded that they'll turn around and go, no, actually, we were wrong for the things that we thought and the things that we said. You know, maybe hogs will get in line and say, yeah, no, Luigi was a bad guy. He's a terrorist. He deserves the death penalty. Who knows? But he is very white, and he does come from a wealthy family. A lot of these things optically play a formative role in garnering support for Luigi's actions beyond the fact that beyond who his target was.
Voters going to the polls this morning. High stakes elections in Florida.
It's never a valid excuse for anything. Yeah, it's not. But that's not what the shot. He's not positive. I wouldn't praise him if he were a parent. You wouldn't praise him if he were a parent of yours. There's never a valid excuse for anything. Yeah, the entire point here isn't whether it's good or bad. I think everyone understands. First of all, allegedly, we don't know if he did it. Innocent until proven guilty. That's number one. Number two, I can't believe I can barely see the screen in front of me, and I'm still using that limited amount of vision that I have to respond to a silly ass chatter who is refusing to understand that it is not. The interesting part about this conversation, this back and forth, is not whether or not it's wrong. Everyone understands that. Okay, everyone understands it's bad. If you were, if that's how people dealt with issues, I mean, society would collapse. You just go up and be like, all right, well, you know, you wronged me. I'm gonna kill you now. Is not exactly going to make for a stable society. Now, having said that, the reason why people still have a sympathetic outlook on him, even though Americans also usually operate in this, with this, I just hear so many people praise him, and I'm sorry, I just don't get it. Yeah, you don't get it. I don't know what your background is. I don't know what your, what your family's wealth looks like. But there's a reason why so many people praise him, and that is because they understandably see someone like Brian Thompson as a placeholder for an incredible amount of death and destruction. So much so that even Americans who normally have the exact same attitude that you have are looking at the situation and going, yeah, well, I mean, it's a little bit of a vigilante justice moment, you know, because they see Brian Thompson functionally as a serial killer. Okay. Because people like Brian Thompson engage in the act of social. It is systematized. It is processed. It's paid through paperwork, but it's nonetheless to the individual who watches their loved ones suffer through their cancer treatment and have to forego treatment because they can't pay for it because their insurance decided to deny that claim. It's like that is for them, whether it is being done by the stroke of a pen or with a sniper rifle or with a bullet, is still it's still experienced as that's the way they see it. Just because it's done for profit doesn't change that reality. Right? Maybe you don't live in the United States of America, though, because like maybe that's the reason why you don't understand it. But, you know, that is what it is. He left right after that explanation. Maybe he's still in here. I don't know. You often argue that criminal migrants should be locked up in the U.S. It would be disingenuous for you to argue that allegedly should not go to jail. What? Should not go to jail. Not that you are doing that. It would be I can't. Am I reading this correct? It would be disingenuous for you to argue that an allegedly should not go to jail. Okay, first of all, there's a difference in the crimes. We're talking about like someone who's done like a serial rape or something. What? No sentence, convict for what? I'm confused as to what you're saying. Maybe my brain is also breaking down aside from my vision. So maybe I don't know what you were trying to say. I've said if someone has gone through the legal process and has been convicted of a heinous act, a gruesome crime or something like that, I think that, yes, justice should be served. Okay? If Luigi Mangione was a undocumented immigrant, I would still have a fairly similar attitude about it all. That his citizenship status or his documentation would not change my attitude at all, because I'm looking at the individual deed.